Alright guys, today I'm going to make an update video to my very first Amnesia video, or a tutorial on how to set up your first custom story, because the other one was pretty outdated, or not outdated necessarily, but it was kind of shittily made, I think. So I'm just gonna make a better, quicker update video to it now. Yeah, I'm just gonna get started right away. First of all, of course, this is for the Steam version of Amnesia, so I have it on Steam right here. So I'm going to be using that installation method, but if you have it on retail, you can still use the same files and everything. You just need to place it in a different location. But if you have used the automatic installer, sorry about that, it should probably work just as fine, anyways. Well, anyway, first of all, we're going to need to download the tools that you're going to need to create your custom stories. So first of all, I'm just going to Google Amnesia editor tools. Just like that, and I'll have this linked in the description if you wanted. And here we go. Download Windows right there, Linux right there, and for Mac there's an automatic and a manual one. If the manual one, the automatic one isn't working, you can use the manual one. It's pretty simple to use both of them. It even says like instructions here, like extract and everything, what you need to do. But I'm going to use the automatic one because it's most likely going to work. So I'm just going to download that. Takes about 20 megabytes. In the meantime, I have linked a preset in my description as well for a download of, it's just like a base for a template for starting off with your first custom story, because it includes a few files like custom story settings and an image that you can edit and a lang file and a folder for maps. So you can download that little preset that I set together and use that if you'd like. However, you don't need to do that. You can make these files yourself if you want to do that. But of course, it makes it a little quicker, and I already defined the lang file, so it could be a lot easier to read, perhaps. At least I think it is. Alright, so now we installed that, downloaded it. So let's just open it up. It's a little DMG file, and it has a little documentation. There's an installer and the README. And if you open up the README, it says that you need to have purchased like a legit copy of Amnesia to use this. This will work with Steam. It will also work with the retail one, and it requires one of the recent patches. If you have it on Steam, the patches should already be automatically updated, and if you have the Justine patch, this is definitely already fixed. 1.0.1.2. Yeah, so that's pretty much about it. So just run the installer, and since I don't have it installed, I just did like a clean reformat of my hard drive, so I don't have anything installed of this, so I'm just gonna install it myself. Next, this will install it. Next, and continue. Alright, extracting all the files, the applications to your thing. Installation complete. Close. Next, finish. And there we go. So now, basically, that is it. If you wanted to, need to use the manual one, you'll download that as a DMG as well, but I think you just find a lot of folders and apps in there that you need to extract to the folder I'm going to locate right now. So on Steam, if you have it on Steam, that is, you can right click Amnesia and Properties, go on Local Files and Browse Local Files, and this will open up the Amnesia directory. And I have a shortcut for it right here that I saved to my desktop because I'm going to be using Amnesia a lot, so I'm going to I have a shortcut. It's easy. You can also drag it into here if you wanna. But otherwise, the path is located under your user under Library Application Support, and Library is hidden by default on more recent versions of Macs. I believe it's from 10.7 Lion and onwards. This folder is hidden by default. You can enable it, but I'm not gonna assume that most people have it hidden. But yeah, so therefore it's probably easiest to do this to get to this folder. There are other ways, of course, but now as you can see, this folder has all the folders for the game and the applications up here, and yeah, then there's just some bunch of random files down there. Basically, now we have installed the thing, so if you were to double click them, they should likely work. Alright, double click it. Here we have the level editor, and this one is going to be useful for mostly, this one is required The other editors are not required for making a custom story. You can make it fully functional without them. The other ones are just if you want to make custom models, particles, and stuff like that. But you can, of course, always use the stock models and entities that come with Amnesia. But anyways, I'm gonna quit off this one right now. You gotta use the quit menu, by the way, or else it won't actually close. We have a folder called Custom Stories right here. I'm gonna tag it so it's easier to notice. We have it called Custom Stories. And let me just eject that. I don't like... oh, I should not have done that. Alright, so... yeah, so we have Custom Stories. And inside here, this is probably going to be empty unless you have installed Custom Stories before. In which case you will have those in here. But you want to create your own folder in here. If you use the template that I have, you can download that and extract it right here and use that to start off with. Otherwise, you can create a new folder and call it Custom Story. I'm just not going to use any spaces or anything. You can use spaces, but I prefer not using spaces in folders that are technically required. Like some things you want to be a little careful with. Anyways, this one is now empty. This is going to be the directory of your things. So you're going to need the custom story settings, the lang file, the picture. Well, you don't need a picture, but you can have a picture. And you want the maps folder. Yeah, the maps folder. So let me go and download that off Mediafire. So I will have this file linked in the description that you can download. I'm going to download it right now. It's a very small file. Of course, you don't have to, but it makes everything a lot easier. You can make these files yourself, but yeah. Unzip it if it isn't already, and you will get this folder. And this is basically the same folder that we just created with these files inside. As I said, you needed the maps, PNG, story settings, and lang file. So what you can do, you can just put those right in there, and that should work for a custom story. But basically, if I'm going to go a bit slower through this just to explain what each of these files are, the maps folder is just a collection of all the map files. It has the map file that you create in the level editor, and it has the HPS file, which is the script file for the map. If they have the same name, they will be associated with each other. So these ones are associated, and this one will enable the scripts that happen in this map. Of course, scripting and stuff that could be a little advanced, so you probably want to learn a lot about that before making a custom story. Although you can make just maps that work without scripting at all. You can make maps and you can walk around in them and play the game just fine without it. Except it won't be very exciting. It won't have any music or any events happening, and that's where scripting comes in. So, but anyways, I'm just gonna extract this maps folder right here. You probably don't have any maps to start off with. Just like you can create a folder called maps, and you can just keep it empty until you save your own maps in there. I just have in the download, I have an example map that you can use if you want to. Now this is a little example picture, customstory.png. You can name it whatever you want. Just be sure to edit the settings if you want to do that as well. Now the other ones, if you do not like these, you can create easily yourself. That's totally up to you if you want to create those. But these are required. Well, this one is required if you want any text to appear in your game. It's not required to run the game, but it's required for any text. So you probably want them. And therefore, if you do not want to copy them or download them from my description, you can just simply create an empty text file with the extension CFG and .lang. So that you have these. Just make sure that they are named exactly as this: custom_story_settings.cfg and extra_english.lang. And those will act as the files. If they are matching with the criteria, they should work. And make sure that when you save the text file, that you save it as a plain text and not like a .cfg.text, because that could happen if you have disabled extensions. It could easily happen. Just be sure to, if you're using TextEdit, you can go on Format, make plain text. If you're using Windows Notepad, you can just select all files before you save it, and that should work. Now, I'm just going to copy these over here, but of course you can just simply create them yourself from a simple text file. And once you have all those files in there, it should work in the game if you just start it up. Now, of course, you want to edit these, so you want to open it with, select another app. I'm going to find TextEdit. I'm going to always open it. open. And these are the small settings. You can copy paste this into your own script file if it's empty, or you can just download mine. Of course that's preferred, but some people don't want to download things, so I can understand that. It's a very simple thing that you need. There are very few things in here that you can define. First of all, customstory.png. This one can be blank if you don't have a picture, or you can just edit the name to whatever picture file you have right here. And then there's the name, which is going to appear in the main menu of Amnesia, the name and the author. For this custom story, you can define those whatever you want. Then you want to put this maps folder. If you put maps /, it means it's going to put and locate all the maps in this folder called maps. You probably don't want to edit that, just keep it default, that's probably the best. And start map and start position. Now these start map is simply enough the first map that loads when you start up the custom story. So it's level 1.map, which is located in here, level 1.map. And the other position, if you keep the position blank, it will spawn you in the player spawn area that is first on the alphabetical list. Otherwise you can define it like yourself with this string, but you don't need it. And player start area _1 is the default name when you create one, and you don't really need to name a spawn area. If you just place a spawn area, it should work fine. So it's not exactly the most necessary one, but oh well. And that's all the settings that are in there. The lang file is a lot more complex. I need to open that with text edit as well. It has a lot of things that's going to look very confusing for you. So therefore, the one that I have in my description, if you make it yourself, it's of course going to be empty. But there are a few things that are required in this file for it to work. For example, diamond bracket uppercase language, diamond bracket uppercase category, and then name equals quote custom story main, and entry name description. And right here between these, the entry name and /entry, you can put the description of the story that's going to appear in that little box before you click play in the main menu. And that's going to be description. You probably want to edit that to whatever description you want. It doesn't need to be anything about the story. It could just be like technical information. And then when you want to have the / category, because this is going to end the category in the slang file. So the category name will define a new category. The / category will end the category, so you can make another one, because you cannot have another category within like the first one. So you cannot have journal category in the other category. You need to put the / between. Remember that if you ever open a block like this or like this, you always need to close them. So right here, entry name is opened here and it's closed here. Category is opened here and it's closed there. Language, it's opened at the very top and closed at the very bottom, right there. And just be sure that you have all these, because if there are any of these blocks that are not matching or closing, or if there's a simple error in this file, then all the text in the game will not work. So basically this whole file will be disabled if there are any errors in it. So if any text is not working, for example for a note in your game, you make sure that this file does not have any errors. It shouldn't have any errors if you download the one I have right here. Now there's a lot of text in between here as well, as you can see, and most of them I put up these myself, these little banner thingies, headers. And they are mostly just there to make it look easier to read. So for example, it's going to be like here, I'm going to have a section for notes, diaries, mementos, item names, descriptions. If you make a custom item, you want to make the name here. All of this is, I'm not going to go very in depth in what to do with these, but these are mostly just, I'm just telling you how it works. Notes, diaries, and mementos all require to be within the journal category. And then this category is opened here and it's closed down here. And the item names descriptions need to be within the inventory category. There are a few set categories, but you can make custom categories with your own names, which is closed right below here. And these are both for one item, both of these lines, which is the name and description. Then there are signs. Like a lot of these things you don't need in your custom story, but I just predefined them if you want to use it. It could be a little easier. For example, sign areas require these. I don't think this category name is set in stone, so you can put it to whatever you want, but I just put it to sign. This one needs to be levels. These are the text strings that appear when you hover your mouse over the level doors. So it'll display a little text of what the next level is going to be. And then there are death hints. And there are many other categories that you can create yourself, like hints and just messages that appear on screen and stuff like that. So you can create those yourself, but that depends on what you want to use in your story and whatever script you have. Scripts you have. Anyways, let's just close that because I'm not really going to use it in this example right here. So now we have defined these two, and if this one is finding the map file within here, it should work fine. Basically, the only thing that are required to make this run is the custom story settings and the maps folder with the map in. Those are the only things that are required to make this run. So let's start up the game. Let's just use Steam. Let's start up the game here, and just as normal. And here comes the logo, and here comes the menu. We have custom story right here. It should list the story that you've just created in the list. Click OK, and this is the picture that, if you notice, this is the picture I put in the back. It says tutorial by Mudbill right here, which is the header, the author, and description of story. It's going to put that right there. If the custom story extra English lang is not present or not working, this will be blank. Now you can click start and it will load up the first map in your story, as well as the location of it. So right here I'm standing in front of, this is just the example map that I provided, which is just a very small room, simply enough. And this will display if you have the sign areas, because I have a little sign area there. If you want, you can open this level in your level editor and just check out whatever you want and edit it if you want, or you make something new, or maybe just use it as a reference. Pick up a lantern, stuff like that. Yeah, so that is actually pretty much it, I think, about this video. Of course, this is a recreation of an older video that I just wanted to make better, because the other one was pretty bad in a way, because the audio was just so weird and everything. But anyways, that should be everything for this video, I believe, and I hope you found it helpful and you're now able to create your first custom story, or more, or just develop everything. And it's very nice to get more people into game development, because there aren't really that many, despite how many games there aren't really that many people who have the ability to create games. And therefore I think it's really nice that people are able to create them, because not only just for the sake of games, but developing computer software itself is very useful, because computers are just gonna rock onwards now. Even people are saying they're going down because the tablets are going up, but I think computers are going to stay for a while, and therefore it's going to be useful with people who are able to create software for it. Anyways, that was just a little inspirational suggestion. But yeah, that is everything about this video. I hope you found it helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will answer anything I can. And other than that, I will see you later. Thanks for watching.